Hello and thank you for joining me for episode 5 of the Cult of the Crow. Where we left off last time, we just had the epic fight with the Saint of Crows here in room number 8. The fight went really well. Definitely a close call there. Came down to one roll and we made it through. Jed made it out alive. And my apologies for the end of the last video, the last few minutes. I forgot to adjust the volume on the music, and so it was really hard to hear what I was talking about. And that's because I'll usually put like 10 different music tracks in the video, and then I have to not forget to adjust the volume for all those. So I'm thinking about actually maybe not doing any music anymore, or doing something more simple to kind of change that up. But if you have any preferences on that, let me know. I do like to have music in the video, but maybe it's not very important, and it would save me a bit of time with the editing process. So let me know what you think about that. But yeah, again, apologies for that. So I went ahead and prepared for our camping, because I was talking about camping at the end of the last video, and I wanted to have a camp here before proceeding to the last 2 rooms here. There is going to be, we do have some fights coming up in these 2 rooms here before we exit the domain, and so we should be able to wrap up the Cult of the Crow today, and then Jed will be free to go on and prepare for the Bleak Threshold. And so just a little bit about that. This is the Domain 5, which is where Jed came from before he came into the Cult of the Crow. And Domain 5, I'm calling that the hub. And so in Domain 5, I entered here, and I went through all these rooms here and found a trader there. And then I also fought the Overseer in this room 16 right here. And then I made my way over to this stairwell, which I went ahead and considered that to be the entrance for the Cult of the Crow. And then I'm going to say that the exit, this exit here, is going to come out over here. So this is going to be the Crow exit. And here where it says BT, you can guess this stairwell is going to be the entrance to the Bleak Threshold. So after I finish with the Cult of the Crow today, probably what I will do off camera is I will have Jed come over to the trader and do a little bit of buying and selling, and make sure that he is as prepared as possible for the Bleak Threshold. And then I will have him come over to this stairwell here and enter the Bleak Threshold, and that's when I will come back on camera to show you guys the Bleak Threshold. So very exciting. We're getting very close to starting that, and I want to thank you for joining me for the Cult of the Crow, because it's been very useful for me to kind of learn some of the, kind of iron out some of the bugs, things that I might have been doing wrong, and so that when I go into the Bleak Threshold, I'm ready to go, and I'm playing the game as correctly as I can play it. I'm always making some mistake, but I'm certainly trying to kind of work some of those bugs out before I get to the Bleak Threshold. And I haven't read through too much of the Bleak Threshold in the second zine, but rest assured that it is very, very difficult, and I think it's most likely that that Jed is going to die in there, but it's okay, because all characters must come to an end, and I think he's had a really good run. So if he does die in here, maybe at some point I will launch a rescue mission to get him out of here. But yeah, it's a pretty nasty place, but I think it's going to be very fun to challenge him to the limits. So please join me in that. Okay, so without further ado, we'll get into this camping here. So I've set up this camping and got all this set up off camera, and you can join me for the fun part, which is well, first we're going to do our camp roll. So I've got a +10 bonus to the camp roll because I've crafted 2 barriers. So we'll go ahead and roll our d20 for the camp roll. And that is a 4 plus 10, that's 14. So we will pass our camp roll there. You need to have a 10 or higher to pass. Now the fun part is that we have 4 magic items that we can identify. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Let's see what we get. So let's start with magic item number 1. I'm going to put number 1 here. Okay, so first we'll start off by rolling a d8 and a d10. That's going to determine what kind of item we have, and it's also going to determine the rarity. So first let's grab our d8 and then let's grab a d10 and we'll roll those together. So on the d8 we have rolled a 5, which is going to be gloves. So our first item is going to be some magic gloves. And on the rarity we have rolled 8, which is rare. So they will have 2 magic properties. So now we can go to our gloves table, glove magic properties, and we can roll 2d20 here. So let's go ahead and roll 2d20. And we have a 14 and a 6. So 6 is you're going to have advantage on athletic checks. The 14 is that we're going to increase our attack skill by 10 when attempting to parry an attack. Okay, so plus 10 when parrying, so you can have a parrying bonus there. And I do already have some gloves that give me a parry bonus as well as a reroll check, which you may remember I used in the last episode. So these gloves are not going to be super useful for me. I think probably going to mark these to sell. Probably sell those to the trader that I showed you in the other 5th domain here. Okay, so that's magic item number 1. Let's see about number 2. And we've rolled an 8 and an 8, so 8 is going to be a ring, and then 8 is also going to be rare, so we're going to have a rare ring. Let's go to the ring properties. We'll roll 2d20, 14 and 13. Increase the amount of health you recover after setting camp by d4. Increase the amount of sanity you recover after setting camp by d4. So a nice camping ring. So that's going to be plus d4 to health and sanity when camping. Okay, that's interesting. I have to think about that one. Not sure if I will sell that one or not. Alright, and let's move on to our 3rd magic item. So we have rolled another ring, and this is going to be a common ring, or no, sorry, an uncommon ring. So uncommon ring. We will get to roll 1 property here. 7, that's increased maximum sanity by 5. Wow, okay. That's actually pretty good. It'd be nice if it had been a rare or an epic ring and had maybe like the +4 camping bonuses as well, but alright. Not sure what I'll do with that ring yet, but that is kind of a good one. Okay, last one. Let's hope we get something pretty interesting here. I would really like to get a weapon. It'd be really hard to actually roll a fist weapon randomly, it's very difficult to get, but that would be nice. Okay, so we've rolled a 6, which is going to be an amulet, and I believe with an amulet, a random mastery for the amulet. So this could be interesting. So we're going to roll a d20. And a 1, we get the Abyssal Reaver. So we have an Abyssal Reaver amulet. I have to think about that if I would want to use that or not. Okay, so let's update our inventory here. So I used 4 crystals. So we're going to go down to 4 attunement crystals, and I used 2 crafting supplies. So we'll go down there. And then for our stats, so we have gained 6 exhaustion, and then we get -10 for camping, so that's going to be a -4. So that will bring our 5 down to a 1. So we will remain with 1 exhaustion. And we're going to recover all of our toughness, so we will be back to 18 toughness. And we're going to recover D4 sanity, so let's see how much sanity we get back. 3, that's not bad. Currently the sanity is at 10, so we'll be at 13. See if I can write that in there. Yep, 13. Okay, so that's going to conclude the camping. I will write the I'll write all these magic items in here probably off camera later on. And now let's see what our next steps are. So I think what we would like to do is go to room number 9, the gullet, and engage in this fight here. And the thing about the Charnel Pit is that for every room that you've cleared, you get to make a spoils roll up to a maximum of 10. So if we can go here first before we go here, that will give us another spoils roll. And rolling 10 spoils could certainly get us some really nice items as well. So I would like to clear the gullet first. So let's move into the gullet, and we have an open area here. We can just simply move down the steps. So we're going to roll for tension, and we have rolled a 1. So we'll now go down to D6. And the gullet, here the cultists of the crow play games with their captive. Against the far wall, shackles hang limply. The wall around it is scored with arrow marks, blade chips, and stained with dried blood. And there are D3 crow cultists and 1 Corvi knight. So this is going to be a big brawl here. And this is where they're kind of sort of torturing their captives. So let's roll for the D3 crow cultists. So we've rolled a 6, and a 3, and half of that would be 1.5, rounded up to a 2. So that's going to be 2 crow cultists. So let me grab that. Oh yeah, and also because we have defeated the overseer, the overseer influence is no longer going to apply. So that will help us to get the jump on these guys. So crow cultist and Corvi knight. And I believe that that's actually going to be 4 crow cultists, because we are fighting 2 crow cultists. So we're going to be dealing with 4 of those guys, as well as 1 Corvi knight. So this could be a somewhat difficult combat here. Alright, now for the Corvi knight, we will have this die represent his health, which is going to be 11. And then for the crow cultists, there's going to be 4 of them. They get D4 health and D4 damage. So let's roll for their health and damage right now. We'll say that the white one is the health and the black one is the damage. So they will get +1/+1, so that's a pretty lucky roll right there. So the cultists, there's going to be 4 of them. They're all going to have 5 health, so they're going to have a health of 20 total. And then, oh, I'm sorry, the D4 damage, that we will apply that on their attack. Actually, I'm not sure if I should apply that on their attack or if I should just apply it now. I think I will apply it on their attack. I think it's how I've been playing that. So we'll go ahead and do that way. But the health we have decided will be 5 for each one. So now we can determine initiative. And this will be the first time that I've done that I've had 2 different kinds of enemies fighting at the same time. So it's going to be interesting. So for my initiative, I will grab my D100 roll, and we'll say that the black die is the cultist, and then I will grab this this turquoise die here for the Corvi Knight. And yeah, so we'll use, so the clear dice will be for our player character, and the black dice will be for the cultist, and the green dice will be for the Corvi Knight. Okay, so I have rolled a 50. I have a skill of 53 right now, so that's still going to be, within my skill. And the crow cultists have a 40, so they rolled over their skill. And the Corvi Knight rolled a 55, which is going to be a critical success because they have 60. But due to my new relic, I cannot be surprised. So I don't know if that will mean that they can be surprised, that they can surprise me. Actually, I have to see what their critical roll would be. I think it is actually that we will lose our first turn. Yeah, so we will lose our first turn. All of these guys will get to attack first. I don't know if I should play it so that the cultists can attack twice, because they did lose the first initiative roll. But yeah, I guess we'll just play it that they can attack twice. So okay, let's go ahead and play the cultists. So there's going to be 4 attacks from the cultists. Alright, so we'll just start with 1. So 1 is going to be the Dark Dagger. The Crow Cultist slashes the target with a Sinister Dagger, dealing d6 plus 1 piercing damage. So let's roll for combat there. Alright, 23 and 56. So they have gone over their skill, and I have rolled 23. And I think on some rolls I have been forgetting about the defensive move, so I want to double check on the matrix if I need a defensive move or not. So in this case, the attacker went over their skill, and I was under my skill, but not doubles, and they were over their skill but not doubles, so they're going to miss, and I will get a defensive move. So I will now roll d10 for a defensive move. So that's a 10. So our next attack is not going to suffer the usual negative 30 modifier when targeting a body part. So that's going to be nice, because we could do, for example, the sweeping blow, which will hit all enemies, and we could target the head. That would be very nice to do. Okay, so we'll remember that for when our combat comes. Alright, that's going to take care of the first cultist, and then we have the next one, which is going to be doing the Swarm of Crows. And this is a magical attack where they summon the phantasmal crows to harass and distract enemies, and You have to succeed on a dodge check or take d6 necrotic damage and be blinded. So hopefully we can pass this magic resistance check here. 74. Okay, that's not going to be good enough. So now let's go ahead and try to pass this dodge check. And 25, I believe that will be good enough. So yep, 62 dodge. So we will pass this dodge check, thankfully. Okay, that's going to take care of the second cultist, and then we're going to have the swarm of crows again. So let's roll for magic resistance. 32, and we have a skill of 60, so that will pass. So we will resist that. And then the fourth cultist is also going to be doing the swarm of crows. 70, that will not pass, so we need to roll for dodge. And 63, unfortunately, that's not going to pass. So we will take d6. We will take d6 necrotic damage, and we'll be blinded until the end of our next turn. So let's go ahead and roll for their damage. Okay, that's going to be 4, and also they get to have a +4 as well, plus d4. So the damage will be 2, and we are also now blinded, which is -40 to all checks. So that's going to hurt when we face the Corvine Knight, who is going to be going now. And let's go ahead and write our toughness is going to be down to 16. Okay, so now the Corvine Knight will roll, and they are going to do the Master Stroke. And so he's going to do 3 Crow Claw Blades. So let's go ahead and start with the Crow Claw Blades. And we've rolled a 4, which is with -40 is going to be 0, and they've rolled a 95, which is going to be over their skill. So in this case, the attacker and the defender has failed. So we look at the skill value. So their skill value is going to be 70, and our skill value is going to be 80 plus 10 to parry, so it's going to be 90. So in this case, the attack is going to miss. So we were pretty lucky there to evade that first one. Now let's roll for the second one. 98, and they got 36. So I think that we are over. I think that we are over our skill with the -40. It's going to put us at 58. As well as, because this is the second attack, that's also going to put us, I think, -20 with the dodge penalty. That's going to be 36. Okay, so yeah, we need to now take a -20 to our dodge. I do get a free action due to dual wielding, but we've already used that for the first dodge. So, and actually, I think this is going to be the second dodge, because we did dodge the Dark Dagger and the Swarm of Crows. So this is actually going to be the third. I think it's going to be the third dodge. So this should be a -40 penalty as well. So we're looking at a -80 penalty here, which is just going to put us at 18, and they have 36. So they will hit with the Crow Claw Blades here, and that's going to be D4 plus D8 plus D4. All right, 1's going to be 0, and 4 is going to be 1. So that will be 1 damage. Down to 15. And then there's going to be one more attack with the blades. This time they have a 59, we have an 83. I think our penalties are going to be something like minus 60 and minus 40, so we have a minus 100 penalty. So basically we can't dodge. We're just out of any energy to dodge anymore after dodging so many attacks. They have 59, which is well within their range there, so we're going to take another hit here. Another D8 plus D4. So that's going to be 3 plus 1, that's going to be 4 damage. And we will now be at 11 toughness. Okay, and they were not able to hit with all 3, so there's not going to be a shoulder charge. And now we will be attacked again. First we'll start with the cultists attacking us. Okay, we'll go ahead and start off with the 1, which is again going to be the Dark Dagger. And so in this case, this is the next round, so our dodging penalties are going to reset, but we still do have the blinded until the end of this round. Let's roll for the combat check. Alright, 60 and 2. My roll would actually be 0 with the blind, but their roll is over the skill. So in this case, because I have the higher skill, I will win the combat here because I have the higher base skill. So they will actually miss. Okay, so that takes care of the first crow, and now the second crow is going to be doing the swarm of crows. So we're going to need to roll magical resistance there. 36, so that will pass. So that takes care of the second crow. And the third crow is going to be doing the Curse of Withering, and the crow cultist will curse a target, causing their flesh to wither and decay. The target takes 2d6 necrotic damage. So again, we must make a magical resistance check. And 66, so that is over the skill, and that's going to be actually a fumble. So let's see what we get here. So the character succumbs to the full force of the magical influence, experiencing the worst possible outcome of the spell attack. They receive double damage from the spell. Okay, we're going to get double damage, so it's going to be a 4d6 plus d4. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to be 5 damage. 6 toughness. Oh, sorry, and also they get a d4. So let's roll another d4 here. And that's going to be 1, putting us at 5. Alright, and now the final crow. Also going to be doing the Curse of Withering, so let's see if we can defend this. 71, so no, that's not going to defend. And this is going to be 2d6 plus d4. So this will be 1 damage. And we're now down to 4 health here. And that will take care of all of the crows. So now the Corvine Knight will roll. Oh, and sorry, I'm forgetting about the minus 40 to the magic resistance. Ooh, yeah. No, I forgot what my rolls were. Yeah, I'm not sure there if I would have resisted all of those. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, now let's go to the Corvine Knight, and we'll have them roll their attack. It's going to be the 1, which is the Crow Claw Blade. So we will do a defense here. And we've rolled 36, which is going to give us a 0. They've rolled 47, which is in their attack range. So they will now do d8 slashing plus d4. So d8 plus d4. 6 is going to be 2, and then 3 is 1. So we are now down to 1 toughness. Now finally it is our turn, and finally the blindness is gone. So I think what I'm going to do here is I can use a potion as a free action. So I might consider doing that, but I I have fragments that could maybe help, but I do not have them set up on my belt. Something else I could consider is the Drain Life Force. And that's going to be your target's vitality becomes your own. As you steal their life force, the target suffers 3d4 necrotic damage and you gain the same amount of toughness. So I might consider doing that. I think maybe I will do that on the next turn. That's going to cost 8 ether as well. I think for this turn, because of that defensive move, so my next attack is not going to suffer the minus 30 penalty. So because of that defensive move, I think we're going to go for a critical hit, a sweeping blow to the head. And if I could hit everyone in the head, that might be able to get us out of this combat, which is suddenly turned very, very deadly. We're going to need to roll for the Corvine Knight as well. Okay, so we're going to do a combat check here. The white is going to be our character is going to be Jed. The black is going to be the cultist, and the green will be the Corvine Knight. Alright, I have rolled 11, which is going to be a critical success. But the Crow Cultist, the Corvine Knight has rolled a 44, which is also going to be a critical success for defense, and the Cultists have rolled an 8. So I really don't know how combat works with two different enemies. I'm not sure if maybe the Cultists should be able to take damage, but maybe the Knight will not. Really don't know. So in this case, if both the attacker and the defender get critical hits, I have rolled less than the defender. So in this case, the Corvine Knight is going to get a defensive move. But in the case of the cultists, the attack would critically hit. So I think I will play it that way. The attack is going to critically hit the cultists, but the Corvine Knight is going to get a defensive move. So let's just consider the cultists for now. And I will roll a critical hit for the cultists. So that's going to be 2d6, 4d4. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the damage modifier would be +6 because of the critical. So it's going to be a total of 6 damage to each of the cultists, but they all have 1 armor, so it would be a total of 5 damage. So that is going to kill all of the cultists. So all the cultists are now eliminated, but our Corvine Knight gets to roll on the defensive moves table. So we'll roll a +10, or we will roll a 10 for him. And he has rolled a 4, so let's see what defensive move he's going to get here. And he is going to clear all negative conditions that is currently suffering. Okay, he doesn't have any negative conditions, so that's kind of a lucky one for us. Didn't really add anything too nasty. Alright, so now the Corvine Knight is going to have his turn. And he's rolled a 4, which is going to be the shoulder charge. And we need to make an endurance check here. So that's a 56, which is well under our endurance, or well over, sorry. So the Corvine Knight will knock us prone. So we have now been knocked prone. Maybe I didn't make one for prone. Oh, here we go. Alright, we need to spend a standard action to get up. So it's now going to be our turn. We're going to spend a standard action so that we are not prone. So now it's going to go back to the Corvine Knight. And 3, he's going to do the shoulder charge again. So let's see if we can pass this endurance check. We've rolled a 7. We do pass the endurance check. Alright, now we're going to roll for combat against the Corvine Knight. And you know what? Actually, I think I'm going to do the Drain Life Force. So we're going to use 8 ether here. We have 20 ether, so we will be down to We will be down to 17 ether, and we will now roll 3d4 necrotic damage. And that will be absorbed. So 4, 5, so that's going to be 1 damage, 2 damage, and I don't know if damage modifier applies to spells. I really don't know, and I'm not seeing anything in the book about that, so I'm just not going to apply it. So anyway, we will gain 2, so that's going to bring us to 3, and I think that was probably not worth doing, to be honest, but I've never used that spell, so that was kind of interesting to try. Alright, now the knight's going to attack. Oh yeah, and the knight did go down to 9 health. So let's put that over here. Okay, 9 health. Alright, now the knight will attack again. And 6, he's going to do the Master Stroke again. And we've rolled 17, and he has rolled 86, so he will be over his skill. So in this case, we did defend, so we get to have a defensive move. So let's roll for a defensive move, which is going to be a 6, and our next attack is going to deal plus d10 damage. That's pretty nice. Alright, once again for the knight, and he has rolled a 50, and we have rolled a 38, so he is going to win that combat. And we're going to take d8 plus d4. And that's going to be 1. So we are now down to 2. And the knight will roll again. And 63, and he has rolled a 9. So this is our third defense, so we get a minus 20 penalty here, so we're actually going to be at 43, but that will still beat his roll. So he will not be successful with all of the attacks, so he will not get to have the charge as the 4th reaction. And now it's going to be our turn. And we have rolled a 70, and he has rolled a 56, so our roll is going to be higher. And our attack will be successful. And I forgot to say what attack I'm going to do. I think I am going to go for the precision strike. So in this case, we're going to be rolling 2d6 and 44 damage. So that's going to be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. That will be 7 damage. He has an armor of 2. That's going to put him down to 2. Okay, and now the crow is going to have his turn. Hopefully this is his last turn. We can finish him off. Okay, so he's going to do the crow claw blades. And he's rolled a 100. We have rolled a 73. So we will successfully defend there, and we will also roll on the defensive moves table, which is going to be a 9. And that is that we get a moment of respite after fending off our opponent's attack. We can recover 2 toughness. So that's pretty nice right there. That will put us back to 4. And I forgot that I could roll a d10 for my other defensive move, so I'll just add another d10 to my next attack here. So let's go ahead and see if we can attack. 60, and he has rolled 16, so our attack will be successful. And I'm going to go for the uppercut, so in this case we're going to roll, we will roll 3d10. 1d10 extra for the defensive move that I forgot about. And I need to roll that one again. It's kind of stuck in the corner. So we have a 6 and a 3 and a 10. All right, so the 10 is going to be 4 damage and 2 damage. So we have 6. And with the modifier, that will be 2. So we will have 6 plus 2, 8. We'll have 8 damage. He's going to resist 2 with the armor, and he has been defeated. Okay, now that was quite a fight right there. Indeed, quite a fight. So I think in this case, we defeated 3 enemies, so I think that would be at 150 experience, which is going to be put us to level 6. We no longer get the experience bonus for the Overseer Influence, but yeah, so we still get 150 for defeating each Crow Cultist. We get 50, and then for defeating the Knight, we get 50, so that's 150. And that's going to put us at 20 experience. And we are now going to be level 6. Okay, and I can roll d6 toughness. For recovery, we get 3. So our toughness is going to be up to 7. Now that we have leveled up, we can choose what we want to do. So I think... Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is a +5 in Resolve. So we will now go to 45 Resolve. And we're also going to get 1 ability point. And I'm going to take the next Stormbrand Mastery. So let's find Stormbrand here. And the next Stormbrand Mastery is going to be the Counter Shock. And what the Counter Shock does is, this is a reaction. It costs 6 ether. If you successfully parry an attack, you send a shockwave through your weapon, dealing d6 air damage to your opponent. So that's a nice way to do some offense while we are in the process of defending. That would have actually been very useful in the fight that just happened, because we would have been able to deal some damage while we were doing all this parrying and stuff like that. So pretty nice ability there, and it's also always helpful to have some source of magical damage, because you can certainly encounter enemies that will be resistant to non-magical damage. Okay, so we have completed that, and also we will get some spoils deck rolls. We're going to get 2 spoils deck for the cultists and 1 spoils deck draw for the Knight. So let's go ahead and draw 2 for the cultists. Alright, we're going to get 1 mundane item. And one precious item. So we'll get 1 mundane item and 1 precious item. And then for the Knight, let's see what we get. And 1 valuable item. So 1 mundane, 1 precious, and 1 valuable. So let's see what we have here. Start with the mundane item. We're going to get a belt. And what's the valuable item? We're going to get an attunement crystal. And what's the precious item? We are going to get a magic item. Okay. And I now have 3 belts on me. So that's going to be a lot of money. If I get to sell those, probably I'll keep 1 of those. And we'll be up to 5 attunement crystals. And then magic items, we don't have 4 of those anymore, but now we do have 1 of them. Okay, and then we can also do a scavenging check in this room. Die for our check here, 51. Now we can do advantage with that new relic. That would give us 15, but scavenging is still only 10, although it is marked for advancement in the camping, which I forgot to do for these skills. So let's go ahead and do that now as well. We're going to roll a d4 for athletics, and we have rolled a 4. Very nice. So we will now be up to 47. And then we'll roll a d4 for perception, which is a 1. So we'll go up to 44. And then a d4 for scavenging, which is a 3, so we're up to 13. And so that's going to complete room number 9, the gullet, and then we will go to the Charnel Pit. And in the Charnel Pit, it says that the sacrificial remains of the cult's victims are tossed. Bones, rotted meat, flesh, and discarded possessions are all that's left at the bottom of the large shaft, along with something scrabbling and crawling. And that is going to be the rock skeleton. So we're going to fight a rock skeleton right now. So 1 rock skeleton. These guys are pretty tough. And he's also going to have a health of 15 with his level adaptation. And I also need to mark 2 light sources here. And I need to roll the tension die. 6. Okay, so we are up into room 10. We have met the rock skeleton, and we're going to determine initiative. Rock skeleton has rolled 50, and we have rolled 99. So once again, we have critically failed. But he has failed as well, but I think our critical failure is going to mean that the rock skeleton will get 2 turns. So the rock skeleton does the carrion vomit. It's a magical attack. A slew of vomit, bile, and rotted flesh eschews from the rock skeleton's gullet. The target must make an endurance check. If they fail, they fall prone and suffer d8 necrotic damage. And then the rock skeleton immediately follows up with the bony talons attack as a free action. Alright, so this is a magical attack, so first let's see if we can defend this. And 56, so we will successfully defend that. That's great. Now the rock skeleton will get to attack again. And he's rolled a 2, which is going to be the bony talons, and it's a physical attack. And the rock skeleton claws and rips with its skeletal wings, making an attack against the target that deals 2d6 slashing damage. So first let's see if we can defend against this. 84, he has rolled a 9. Our defense would be 80 plus 10 with the gloves. So, and then also plus 10 if we are using the claw. So we will successfully defend there. We will, and in this case we can use the counter shock if we want. So we can go ahead and spend the 6 ether, which is going to put us. So the ether I think recharged when we came into the room. So we're going to drop down from 20 to 14 ether. And we now can have d6 air damage to the rock skeleton. So let's roll a d6. 6, that's very good. So that's going to be 2 air damage, and that will go through the armor. So that's going to be 2 damage, bringing him down to 13. Alright, now it's going to be our turn. The first thing we need to do is a resolve check for the horrifying. And 36, that will be successful. We'll pass the horrifying check there. And then we have rolled 85, and he has rolled 67. So he is over his skill. We are under our skill, and our attack will be successful. And once again, I forgot to say what attack I'm going to do. And I think in this case, I will do the precision strike. So once again, 2d6 and 44 damage dice here. So it's going to be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage. And he's got an armor of 1, so 7 damage will get through. And that's going to drop him down to 6. Okay. And now it is going to be the rock skeleton's turn. 6, he's going to do the rampage. This is a physical attack. The rock skeleton unleashes a snapping onslaught of bites, claws, talons, and crushing blows from its weighty bones. It makes a melee attack against the target, dealing 2d6 bludgeoning damage on a hit. If the attack hits, it immediately follows up with the bony talons as a free action. Okay, let's see if we can physically make a physical defense here. 15 and 83. And yeah, he has rolled over his combat skill. So he has failed his rampage attack there. And we have successfully defended with 15. And we'll also get a roll on defensive moves. Or do we? Let's see here. So he was unsuccessful. We were successful. Yes. So we get to roll on the defensive moves table. 10. Okay, so our next attack will ignore the usual penalty for targeting. So in this case, I think we're going to go with the uppercut. That's a really great one to have when you're going to aim for the head. All right, 78. So he's failed his defense, and 46. We are successful with our attack. And now we're going to roll 4d10. The uppercut, critical uppercut, and that's I need to mark 2 more critical attacks that got through there. And I'm going to roll that again because it got stuck on the edge there. I'm actually looking at probably getting a different base for this because of all the die like getting stuck on the side and not being a clean roll. So I want to get a larger base for the tower. Okay, so we're going to be doing 3 damage, 6 damage, 7, 8, and 9, 10. That's going to be 10 damage. And he'll resist 1 of that, so that would be 9 damage. So the rock skeleton has been defeated. And that's going to be another 50 experience. That will bring us up to 70. And we can recover some health. Recover 3 health. We will be up to 10. Alright, and we can also roll on the spoils deck. Or, can't roll on a deck, but we can draw on the spoils deck. So what are we going to get here from the rock skeleton? We will get a valuable item card. It's always good. And another attunement crystal. Okay, now in this room, we can roll, we can get, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we can get 8 spoils rolls. So what I'm going to do for the 8 spoils rolls is that I will roll those when I am off camera here. After I have gone back into the hub here. So we will just do a scavenge check. Okay, we failed that, and this room is complete. And we will move out to the exit here, and we're now back into the hub here. So I'm going to remember that I have 8 spoils rolls to do. Actually, that would be draws or rolls. And I'll either do those off camera or I'll do them right at the start as we enter the Bleak Threshold. But I do want to go back to the trader and sell a bunch of stuff and kind of gear up. And then I will head over to the Bleak Threshold. And that is where I will join you guys when that series starts, which should probably be, I think I will take a short break, maybe about a week or so, and then we will start the Bleak Threshold. So I want to thank you very much for joining me for the Cult of the Crow. I hope you enjoyed it. Once again, it's all very much still a learning experience for me. Definitely not the best player of this game, and I've only been playing tabletop RPGs for almost 3 months now. But I love Ker Nethalas. I'm very happy to be playing it. It's a really great game, and I thank you guys for joining me. And I hope that you've also enjoyed this playthrough as well. And I hope that you will enjoy the Bleak Threshold, which I think is going to be very tough, and probably 99% chance that Jed is going to die in there. But you will get to have a little taste of the horrors that await any character that is trying to exit from the necropolis. And I think it's going to be a really cool part of Ker Nethalas to have that chance to exit from the necropolis, but certainly it's going to be something that really only very well prepared and well equipped and powerful characters are going to be able to do. But it's something to look forward to, I think, within the world of Ker Nethalas, because obviously exiting the dungeon will give you a chance to go into some potential overland things that will be coming in the future for Ker Nethalas, which I think is going to be great because it's a game that really has so much potential, I think, to expand. And yeah, I'm glad that Alex created this game. So, yep, that's going to do it for the Cult of the Crow. And we'll see you back in about a week or so with the Bleak Threshold.